Good afternoon, everyone. We will start at 1:05 Eastern Time. So if you need to refresh your cup of coffee, please go ahead and do so. And we'll start at 1:05 Eastern Time. Again, welcome everybody. We'll start in about 3 minutes. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Carlos Ortiz, and I'm a National Program Leader at the National Institute of Food and Agriculture. Welcome to the 2026 Artificial Intelligence for K-12 Food and Agricultural Science program. Over the next maybe 30 minutes or so, we are going to go through these topics, which is a NIFA overview, a program overview, application details and documentation required, application evaluation process, as well as any additional information or resources we may have to provide to you. The question and answer section of the presentation will be at the end of the presentation, and there is a question and answer box within this window that will allow you to submit your questions for us to answer again at the end of the presentation. So first, we'll start with a short NIFA overview. And for those of you who are familiar with us, you've seen this slide in the past. If you haven't, the National Institute of Food and Agriculture is the extramural science funding agency within USDA's Research, Education, and Economics mission area. Our role is really to invest and support in initiatives that ensure the long-term viability of agriculture. And we provide funding and strategic leadership through programs that ensure groundbreaking discoveries in agriculture and related sciences and technologies reach the people who can then put them into practice. The next couple of slides will really talk about specifically about the program at hand, the A9231 Strengthening Agricultural Systems AI in K-12. So what the program is seeking to do is to strengthen the pipeline of artificial intelligence literate and skilled next generation of agriculturalists with special emphasis in K-12. So this program the projects that come to this program must be led by extension or the education components of the project. And again, the role here is to develop and strengthen the pipeline of K-12 students and youth who are agricultural artificial intelligence literate and skilled. As I mentioned before, the projects must be led by the education or extension component. This is a fully integrated program in which the three branches must be present: education, extension, and research. The budget that we have allocated to each project is between $1 and $2 million, and all of them have to be 5 years in duration. Something that is not relevant, is not appropriate for this program, is projects that research or develop innovations in AI and data systems. For those, please apply to the AFRI A1541 program within the Agriculture and Food Research Initiative, Foundational Applied Sciences request for applications. Also, what is not appropriate for this program are degree or training programs that train undergraduate and graduate students. There are programs within the AFRI Education and Workforce Development Notice of Funding Opportunity that have funding for these initiatives. Something that is very important for this program is that we at NIFA, we are seeking to support proposals in all 6 AFRI priority areas. Therefore, we ask you to please identify the primary farm bill priority area that your project will use. Again, we are seeking to support 1 project in plant health production and plant products, 1 project in animal health production and animal products, food safety, nutrition and health, and so on. So we really encourage you to really dig deep down within the priority area and reduce the broadness that you're trying. So you're welcome to try to support as many of the other priority areas, but we want you to first focus in one first. Within the program, there are 4. We ask you to please select 4 of these 7 priorities. The first one is to develop or strengthen the pipeline, which means that you really are trying to develop that next generation agriculturalist with the emphasis in K-12. We want you to adapt or develop AI-based tools into the farm bill priority area that you choose. For example, plant health, production and health, or so on, and develop those tools that are effective to be integrated into classroom and non-formal settings that will train these students. We ask you to also build and expand the training in AI that is comprehensive and available for teachers and non-formal educators that will allow for the training and of the students, right, and the K-12 students. And also we want you to support AI education resources, sharing mechanisms that will allow for all the products that you produce to be shared and to be used for by those formal and non-formal educators and students and youth across the country. These topics also support the equipping of K-12 learners to become future innovators of agricultural AI. They will advance the innovations to keep U.S. farmers, researchers, producers, and foresters at the forefront of AI productivity, as well as use AI to help strengthen the youth understanding of the importance of America's food, fuel, and fiber supply, as well as their role in national security. Some additional information that you can find on the notice of funding opportunity in the page 15 is that you are strongly encouraged to consider the youth voice while you are developing and implementing the project. We ask you that stay within the budget category, so between $1 and $2 million, because anything that goes above $2 million will be declined without review. All projects will be issued for a project life of 5 years, and they will not be renewable after the completion of the project period. We welcome and encourage you to leverage any public-private partnerships that you may have, and we also want you to develop and submit a data management plan as it is required and must include how the data that you are making will be public, as well as the identifiers that are required with each one of these data components. To apply for this program, you must be a college or university, a 1994 land-grant university, or a Hispanic serving agricultural college or universities. So what do we mean with college or universities? We mean any entity that admits regular students to train them for a certificate of graduation from a school providing secondary education and a recognized or the recognized equivalent of such certificate. The institution will be legally authorized to provide a program of education beyond a secondary education. It provides an educational program for which a bachelor's degree or any other higher degree is awarded, is a public or other nonprofit institution, and is accredited by a national recognized accrediting agency or association. So again, only colleges and universities, 1994 land-grant institutions, as well as Hispanic serving agricultural colleges and universities are eligible for this program. There is no limit in the number of applications that an eligible institution may submit as lead institutions. But what is very important is that any duplicate or multiple submissions are not allowed. This means that submitting two proposals that are predominantly overlapping are not allowed. So you certainly can submit multiple proposals of multiple different topics and projects, but not the same multiple times. If you do so, the duplicates will be disqualified from application and will be declined review. We understand that this date in the notice of funding opportunity has passed, but we have extended the letter of intent for those new to this program. So within the letter of intent, we ask you to please send us a descriptive title of the project that you're seeking to propose, the name of the project director and the applicant institution name, the names of any potential co-PDs or co-investigators and their affiliations, as well as what Farm Bill priority you will be addressing. The Farm Bill priorities are on your screen, and it's the 6 Farm Bill priorities of plant health, production and plant products, animal health and production and animal products, food safety, nutrition and health, bioenergy, natural resources and environment, agricultural systems and technology, or agricultural economics and rural communities. Again, you must choose one of them and develop your project around it. Please send your letter of intent to the AFRI SAS inbox, and the inbox is listed on the screen. And again, we will use this information to plan ahead as we put together the panel, and we ensure that we have the expertise required to review your proposals. There is no due date on this, just send it to us so that we are aware that your proposal will be coming and we can plan around that. Regarding cost share and matching, the AFRI program does have a match, but this is not required when the project is of applied research or integrated project. In this case, all projects must be integrated, but the match is not required if it is working with a topic that is not commodity specific or is not of national scope. So in this case, AI is of national scope, and the way that you're using a commodity will be to train on AI. So no match required. Application details and other documents. So again, the due date for these proposals is April 23, 2026 by 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Any proposals that are received after that will be declined without review. We have $12 million available for this program. And as I mentioned, we're seeking to make up to 6 awards of up to $2 million each. The program code is A9231. And again, there's no limit in the number of applications your institution may submit, nor there's a limit on the number of awards per institution. There are QR codes on these slides that will allow you to visit either the notice of funding opportunity, the frequently asked questions that we have prepared, or other resources that are available for you. Some of the important documents that must be in your application are an abstract, the project narrative, a bibliography, a logic model, a management plan, a data management plan, a mentoring plan, a document talking about your facilities and other resources. We need the bio sketches of the key personnel. And as you may have noticed, NIFA now has instituted the use of Science CV within these documents. So please submit the documents in Science CV format. The conflict of interest list, as well as current and pending support of key personnel, This document must also be in Science-CV format, as well as we will need budget tables and budget justification as well. You can find all of the information about the required documents within the Notice of Funding Opportunity and the documents linked within it. As I mentioned, NIFA now requires Science-CV's format for the biosketch and the current and pending forms. So we will be requiring this document for all the projects that will be awarded. So for this competition, if you have already started developing the proposal and started compiling the documents, you may submit the biosketch and current and pending support documents that you have already gathered, even if they're not in Science-CV format. But if we choose your proposal to be awarded, we will be asking you to convert all of those and submit the documents in a Science-CV format before we can make the award. If you have any questions, you can email our policy support team as well as the NIH help desk that manages the Science-CV platform. Within Science-CV, we ask you to select new document and choose USDA biographical sketch and USDA current and pending other support. The forms must be certified, and they have to be downloaded as PDF and attached to your proposal. For those who may have the staff to assist you, any other staff can assist you preparing the forms, but they cannot certify and download them themselves. The person who is the owner of that form must certify them and then download them and then attach them to the proposal. Key documents. So in this case, we're going to talk specifically about the project narrative. You have up to 18 pages to tell us about your project, but there are regulations within the page limits. So there must be a 1-inch margin. The write-up must be single space. The font must be 12-point Times New Roman, and this includes any figure, text, or tables. If you are applying for Center of Excellence, the justification must be included within this project narrative, so within these 18 pages. Any application that comes where the project narrative is more than 18 pages will be declined without review. Within these 18 pages, we want to hear about these main topics: your introduction, the rationale and significance of your project, the approach, as well as the integration. So within the introduction section, we want to know about the long-term goals and how they support your objectives, the type of issue that you are addressing, the body of knowledge or past activities that you have produced, as well as the work of key personnel and how they contribute to this project. Within rationale and significance, we want to know how this project contributes to the goals that you addressed before, the relationship of the objectives and the program goals, and the potential long-range improvements in efficiency, profitability, and sustainability of U.S. agriculture and the food systems. Within the approach, we want to know about how the project will be conducted. So the objectives, they must be clear and logically arranged. The methods include the stakeholder involvements, activities and techniques that you'll use, expected results, how is it going to be evaluated, the outreach project plan that you have, as well as any pitfalls that you may have already identified. The project timeline must be per year for the entirety of the project for the 5 years, as well as you may tell us what will happen after the period will end. Within integration, we want to hear about how each component, the research, the education, and the extension are present and how they work with each other. How the budget, it reflects this, and how the sufficient resources are allocated to each one of the 3 components, as well as plan for evaluating the progress of your project, any milestones and indicators to measure, as well as any stakeholder involvement. For those of you who have received AFRI awards in the last 5 years, we want to know within the 5 years what projects you have been awarded. How many awards do you have? We want to know their award number, as well as significant outcomes from each of the projects that will contribute to this project. As well as if you are requesting Center of Excellence designation, we want to know how your project will ensure coordination and increase cost effectiveness, how we will leverage resources, as well as how we'll increase economic return to rural communities. Again, if you are asking for Center of Excellence designation, that must be included within the 18 pages, as well as if you have received previous AFRI awards within the last year that will contribute to this project. We want to hear how your previous results and outcomes will support this current project. A data management plan is required for this project. So we want to know within 2 pages, the expected data type that you will produce, their format, the data storage and preservation, how the data will be shared, protected, and where will it be in public access, the roles and responsibilities of the staff managing this data. There's some guidance on our website in how you can develop this data management plan, as well as some samples for you to use. The application for this program are due on April 23rd of 2026, and the NIFA application guide has all the details that you need to know the documentation as well as the processes. Something that is very important is that all documents submitted to NIFA must be in PDF format. Grants.gov may allow you to submit other format of documents, but NIFA does not. So please make sure that all the documents are in PDF format. Do not use any third-party PDF builders as they add data to it and conflicts with our systems. And your PDFs must not be password protected, or also we will not be able to receive them. This slide contains QR codes for every single QR link that you saw in the presentation. So take a second and take a photo for it if you want to reach out any of the documents. Okay. In the next couple of slides, we're going to talk a little bit about the application process. And we're going to start describing generally what is the process at NIFA and how your proposal will be evaluated during this process. So at NIFA, we do a peer review process in which we will be assigning your proposal to at least 3 reviewers that have expertise in the topics that you're proposing. Each one of these reviewers will individually read and go through all the documents that you have submitted and evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of your proposal. Then the written reviews will be compiled, and we will meet as a panel and we'll discuss the merits of the proposal submitted. Finally, the panel, all those individuals who are within it, will reach consensus on the final ranking and rating of all the proposals submitted. So for you to develop the best proposal, you must know how your proposal will be evaluated. And what you see on your screen today is the topics and the guidance that we will provide to the reviewers on how your proposal must be evaluated. So we want to evaluate your proposal based on its merit of the application, the qualifications of the project personnel, the adequacy of the facilities and project management, the project relevance, and if requested, on your Center of Excellence request. So within the merit of the application, we will be evaluating the project objectives and the outcomes, the proposed approach, procedures, or methodologies provided, the components in the research, education, and extension activities that are provided, the data management plan, as well as the work of key project personnel and preliminary data pertinent that you have submitted. Within qualifications, we will look at the roles and expertise of the key personnel, the evidence of institutional capacity, the support personnel, facilities, and instrumentation available, the project management, including the time allocated for attainment of objectives and delivery of products, the budget allocation, as well as the justification. Within project relevance, we will look at project support of program priorities, the full integration of your project, which means that the research, education, and extension components are present and work together for the objectives and goals that you have provided. That how do you address and identify your stakeholder needs, the involvement of your stakeholders, the evaluation plan, the leverage of expertise, resources, and experience, as well as expectations beyond the budget life of the project. If you request Center of Excellence, this request will be evaluated based on the coordination and increase of cost effectiveness, the leverage of resources, as well as the increased economic return for rural communities. The review process at NIFA takes between 8 and 9 months. So we ask you to please be patient as we move through the receipt, the peer review process, as well as the awarding process. So you may want to keep that into consideration as you start thinking about the start date that you propose and when your activities will start taking place. Any additional information and resources that we have for you can be found in these 6 additional documents and web pages on your website. That include other funding opportunities at NIFA, comparative grant flow chart, grant training technical assistance resources, the NIFA policy guide, the NIFA application guide, as well as guidance on indirect cost. Any questions that you may have after this webinar, you can send them to us to the AFRI-SAS@usda.gov. And again, all the proposals are due by April 23rd, 2026 by 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Any submission received after this time will be declined without review. This is our non-discrimination statement. Please take a second to go through it, and any questions or comments can be sent to the discrimination complaint website, as well as the phone numbers and email addresses on your screen. This is the end of the presentation, and we will move now to any questions that you may have. The first question that we have is, can the program be less than 5 years? The NIFA stated up to 60 months. They can be for less than 5 years, but we really want you to, and will be evaluated based on all the outcomes and outputs that you produce. Any other questions that you may have, please submit it in the question and answer box, and we will answer them as they are received. Sure.
Hello, Dr. Ortiz. Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So it looks like we will fund 6 projects, and we have 6 areas. Will you fund just one project for one area?
Can you repeat your question?
So can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So it looks like we have 6 areas, and we will fund for 6 projects. Well, these 6 projects will be, for one area, we'll fund one project.
Correct. The goal is for NIFA to have a broad portfolio. So we're seeking to fund 6 projects total, 1 per farm priority area.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. There's a question, and the question is, can you confirm that personal documents are required for all personnel? Biosketch, current and pending, and conflict of interest. Personal documents are required for key personnel. So for all the PIs, co-PIs, as well as if you have any other key personnel at that added to your proposal. What is the benefit of being considered for a center of excellence? So it is a designation, as well as in the case that there is a tie, it will break the tie with the center of excellence designated proposal being the one breaking the tie. can you confirm that due to the fact that this NIFA is based on AI, all proposals automatically are national in scope and such do not require cost matching? Yep, you're correct. Is an external evaluator required? So external evaluator, it depends on what you mean with external. So the goal here is an evaluator that is not involved in the design and implementation of the project. It can be from your institution, it can be from your same department, or it can be from a different institution. The key part is that it is external to the project development and implementation. Can we include student faculty from universities as well for proposal? I'm unsure what you mean. As staff, certainly. If a team member has a previous AFRI award, will that impact the funding opportunity? Not really, as long as they have expertise and they have the time, the FTE to be allocated to this project. Is there a specific definition of AI that is being used for this NOFO or in general by USDA and NIFA? No, not necessarily. So we want to make sure that artificial intelligence as a whole, and that's the key goal of this program, to support and develop the resources to train the next generation of agriculturalists on their understanding and use of artificial intelligence as it relates to food and agriculture. Does the title of your proposal have to be the same in the final submitted version as in the LOI? No, it's just a draft title, so you're welcome to change your title as it describes your final proposal. After the proposal submission, what is the review and decision timeline? Between 6 and 9 months. Do you have to have a collaborating institution since it is a CAP project? This really depends on you having the expertise that is necessary for the project to be successful. So it doesn't really have to be a collaboration across institutions, but it's more about you having the research, education, and extension components within the project. Can you comment on what defines an effective evaluation plan? Sure. An evaluation plan is one which will go and will evaluate what your objectives and plan outcomes are to be. It needs to look at the milestones that you have set, as well as have metrics that allow you to learn how close or far are you from reaching those outcomes. A good evaluation plan will be iterative, so you have those year by year, and you will learn from those results and modify your project implementation to ensure that you finally, when you reach the end of the project, you reach the goals and objectives that you have set to follow. Regarding the question before about university students and faculty, the question says, should the project focus exclusively on K-12 youth, or would it will also be appropriate to include university students and faculty as part of the activities? You can include university students and faculty, but the focus must be around K-12. So they certainly can be part of the system, but they cannot be the primary users and beneficiaries of this project. We have submitted an LOI, but now we would like to change a PI. Do we need to submit another LOI? Not necessarily. You're always welcome to do so, but you don't have to. Does a Center of Excellence designation influence the evaluation process? Again, a Center of Excellence designation will only be used if they're just to break a tie. In case that two proposals have the same merit, that Center of Excellence designation will be what is used to break that tie. Regarding previous awards, is that by PI or by institution? This is about regarding the PI or the PD. We want to know how the previous awards that you have received will contribute to the current project, how the outcomes and the outputs that you have produced contribute to what you are proposing now. Are MOUs needed with K-12 schools? That's up to you and the implementation of your project. If that will allow you to have a more stronger partnership with them, you may, but they're not required for the program. For prior awards, do you need to have been listed on the original grant application? No, not necessarily. Are international collaborations allowed? They are. The key part here is how that benefits the project, as well as the training and awareness of K-12 youth in the American system. Can you clarify the distinction between education and extension? Since education is often embedded within extension programs, do we need to distinguish between them? When we think about education, we think about formal education projects or formal education activities. They usually take place in a classroom. They usually result in degrees and so on. Extension is more about the sharing of knowledge, and oftentimes takes place in non-formal settings. So that's really the main situation here. For example, we can talk about K-12 as part of the academic, being part of high school, middle schools, and so on. That's an education component. An extension component will be 4-H, FFA, and similar non-formal education settings. Will the recording and slides of this webinar be available? Yes, they will be on our website as well as the slides. Can you describe the evaluation process further? Is there a different weightage on the category? The process at NIFA, is not a point-based system. So we don't use points, so the weight is not in that way. It's based on merit. We already have a Center of Excellence designation. Does that affect the evaluation criteria process? Center of Excellence designation is based only on your award. It's not in your institution, it's not on your department, it's not on you as a person. It's based on the specific award. So if you already have one, that designation will go away when that current Center of Excellence designated project ends. Do we need to cover all grades from kindergarten to grade 12? You could. Again, the key part here is to justify why are you doing that section and how will that impact and strengthen the K-12 education system. So you're welcome to do K through 12. You're welcome to do a smaller portion of that, but you must be able to justify selection. Can you confirm the previous awards piece is part of the 18-page narrative? Yes, it is part of the 18-page narrative. So we really want you to be very succinct into what AFRI awards you have received. Any non-AFRI awards don't need to be there. So those are AFRI awards, can be included in there. And the key part here is to let us know how they have contributed to what you're trying and what you are proposing at this time. And this will be only for the project director. They don't have to be for all the staff and other co-PDs associated with it. Can we keep funds for a postdoctoral associate working towards the research component of the project? Certainly. The key part is that the time allocation has to match what they will be doing for the project. So a full-time postdoc cannot be charged if he's not working full-time only on this project. There is a question, Science City website offers NSF Common Forum and NIH Common Forum. Will USDA prefer a specific forum? Yes, if you go to a new document and other, you can find a USDA BioSketch and USDA current and pending forms or templates. Will the recording be available? Yes, it's going to take us a couple of days as we go through the closed captioning and publishing all the same. Is it encouraged our public-private partnership encouraged? Yes. In the budget, can the budget be used to support PhD and graduate assistants to develop tutorials and examples that face the K-12 education purpose? Yes, again, but the support must be commensurate with the work that they will be doing. Does the grant prioritize regional or national programs? Again, the goal here is for you to justify the selection that you make. Our goal is to support 6 projects and have a broad portfolio that supports the 6 priority areas. So, and as well, one of the goals of the program is that you support the development of sharing resources, right? So that's and it's for you to justify if you go regional or if you go national, and your team should reflect the same. Is it encouraged about the private-public partnership? Can we also do a subcontract for a company? You could, and it is up to justify how that subcontract supports the goals and objectives of your proposal. Can the PD be the lead from the science department who also has another appointment in the education department? It could be. Again, the goal is for the projects to be led by the education or extension components. And your appointment is depending on, it's at your institution, and the key part is that you must show that you have the expertise to lead that extension or education component. So the key part is about qualifications, not necessarily where you are based. So you must demonstrate that you have the qualifications to lead an education facing or an extension facing project. Is there any benefit to making the program for the full 5 years if we think it's better in a shorter time frame? It is really up to you to define what it will be. You have up to 5 years to complete the task. If you believe that you can complete it in 3 years, all the objectives, all the goals that you have set yourself, you're welcome to do so. But it's up to you to justify, not just to NIFA, but to the peer review process and the panel, that you will complete the task that you have set within the time that you have decided to go for. Any other questions? We have about 10 minutes left. There is a question regarding extension and science CV. I don't have any input on that matter. As you know, this is also new for NIFA. So I would encourage you to just work with the NIH help desk that manages the science CV process, so they can provide more guidance. Any final questions you may have? Again, please put them on the Q&A box. I'm unsure how this transcribing box opened, but it's taking longer for us to wait for those to come in. Is it okay to address more than one priority area in the proposal? Again, our goal is to support 6 projects, 1 per priority area. So I would encourage you to go deep instead of going broad. There's a question. Earlier you said that it was okay to fund postdocs on this proposal, but not for them to work on this 100% of the time. Is that accurate, or did I misunderstand? I think that's a misunderstanding. What I'm saying is that their full-time equivalent, their FTE, has to be commensurate with the work that they're doing on this project. The research part is expected to lead K-12 students to do research instead of university students under the PD, right? The research component is really to evaluate the success of the education and extension components that you're doing. Again, this program is not focused into improving or developing new AI modules and modalities, but just to evaluate. The research component will be to evaluate the efficacy of how the implementation of AI in the given priority area in an education or extension setting. If we combine animal health and production and food safety and nutrition in a project, would it be something USDA considers for funding through this mechanism? Both of these are Farm Bill priority areas. The key part is, or something that I would encourage you, is to really think about which one is the leading priority area within the program. Is it 50-50? Is it 60-40? Is it 90-10? So again, we're seeking to fund, to have a broad portfolio that represents the 6 priority areas through 6 awards. Any final questions? Seeing none, I would like to thank you for your time. We look forward to receiving the LOIs if you haven't submitted one, or your proposals. Again, the proposals have to be submitted to NIFA by April 23rd, 2026 by 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a good day, and we look forward to receiving your proposals. Thank you.